The SEC is finally reviewing Wisdom Tree Spot XRP ETF application, and on top of that, they're accepting public comments. This is big news, heading towards the right direction. Of course, people want to see these ETFs being approved because once these ETFs are approved, this brings in a lot of capital that is sidelined. Believe it or not, there is a lot of capital that's still sidelined, and obviously ETF solves that issue. So a lot of people are anticipating not just XRP ETFs, Solana, Litecoin, the list goes on and on. But I think even if it doesn't happen next month, I think it is bound to happen sooner rather than later. And I am projecting this year to be the year where we do see some of these filings and some of these assets actually getting the approval for the ETF to go live, spot ETF to be specific. But big news, of course. But let's take a look at what's happening. Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel, to the XRP holders. Looking across the market as far as last night is concerned, not much has changed in terms of the price. The broader market is still down. If you're looking at the last 1 hour, we have seen a little bit of a bounce, but in a grand scheme of things, the broader market is still down right now. XRP's price $2.26, down 1% in 1% in Bitcoin, and about 2.5% in USD comparative. Now, looking at the market cap, $132.6 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume at $2 billion. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. I want to start off with this. 2 days ago, I asked you guys, the community members, what price will Bitcoin close the monthly candle at? And we are approaching the month's end in just a few days to come, and you guys can see 2,200 of you voted. So I want to give you guys applause. Appreciate you guys for taking your time out to vote. If you want to take part of this, make sure you are subscribed and have your bell icon on, so you are notified every time we do these. So 2,200 votes come in. 56% are thinking $115,000 that we're going to close pretty much close to all-time highs. A little bit higher, of course, because we haven't really retested 115,000 yet. So very, very interesting. Let me know your personal take on this, and where do you see the price of Bitcoin closing? And moving forward, take a look at this. Yes, Ripple collaborated with Saudi Arabian Monetary Authority to modernize domestic payment systems. You can see the rise of XRP's price also contribute to attracting the attention of financial institutions. As of informant input in late 2017, Ripple was worth more than all but maybe 20 banks on the planet, and that made the phone ring. Very, very interesting. And this, of course, is in response to NASDAQ listed Vivo Power has raised $121 million to launch an XRP focused treasury strategy led by the Saudi Prince Abdulaziz bin Turki Al Saud. So I don't know if I butchered the name, but that is that. So let me know down below what you guys think about that. But Willy Woo, I have some good news and maybe some bad news for you guys. Good news is that the risk signal is trending downwards, meaning over the broader environment, buy-side liquidity is dominating. We are setting up for another solid run on the long time frame. However, the strength of this bullish run from $75,000 to $112,000 is starting to break down. I covered this in my last post. This week is absolutely critical. If we do not get the follow through, then we will be up for another consolidation period. In the short term, my main concern are that latecomer speculators taking long positions while an immense amount of potential profit taking is ready to dump. So this week's spot buying will strongly influence the next 1 to 2 months of the price action. We are in the pivot zone. So very, very interesting take from Willy Woo. Potentially, if this week, we don't see, especially the monthly candle, this is what I've been telling you guys, and this is why I did the poll. Pretty much, if the monthly candle does not close at the level that he's referring to, we could be more towards the downside, maybe consolidating down to 100,000 or even below. And I did speak to you guys about that literally last night. So moving forward, remember the Bank of France prefers the feature of XRP to issue European Central Bank digital currencies, and that is documented. Ripple and XRP enjoy the trust of many banks as a model for CBDCs because it's highly centralized and is based on permission network where only certain network nodes can validate transactions, as opposed to decentralized and permissionless Bitcoin and Ether. The Ripple proposal is an example of how some features of blockchain technology may be incompatible, with the pursuit of CBDCs. However, there are configurations of that existing technology which can satisfy the security and the speed required by such projects. And the ECB is tracking the household of that who hold crypto assets, and you can see this number is climbing up right now. Obviously, kind of that nice to see. You can see estimated of, so this is shares of respondents blue, who answered that they or anyone in their household own crypto assets, estimated of crypto assets holding as a share of household financial right. So crypto asset holding by a household. You can see this for yourself. Market value of Euro area holdings of crypto assets related to investment products. You could see households are increasing. You can see over the course of the last few years. So more and more people are getting into crypto and adding it to their portfolio, which is not a surprise. But Pakistan's government is reportedly planning to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve. We are holding Bitcoin and we will never sell them. So going back to what I've been speaking to you guys about over the last few days, it's not just the US, this is happening across the board. A lot of countries around the globe want this digital asset. Remember, the demand is outweighing the supply. And this is once again another example, a perfect example right in front of us. So I think this is going to become a norm as we do go further into the future. That is that, and of course I wanted to cover that. But let's take a look at what's happening with the price. So of course, dominance made its way up to 64.39%, has gone down a little bit since then, but it's climbing up. It's showing strength. BTC, on the other hand, at $107,000. We actually did go down to 106. If you watch my update last night, we spoke about exactly that potential retest, and we did end up seeing that, and we got supported by that range. I indicated to you guys before, if we don't hold this support, we are going most likely down to 102,000, potentially even the psychological $100,000 price point. And obviously, if we fall below that, the 96,000 is a realistic thing to be looking out for. So again, we did hit a new all-time high. So anyone that's going to come out and say, we haven't seen anything for Bitcoin, I hope you guys are looking at a closer time frame. And I'm sorry, if you're zooming out and taking a look at what Bitcoin has been able to achieve. So let's take a look at what's happening with XRP's price. If you're looking at XRP's price, it did make its way down below that key support line. We actually made it down $2.22 briefly, but have seen a little bit of a bounce, but that exact same support has pretty much played out for us as of now. So of course, this is in correlation to BTC. You don't want to see the price of Bitcoin dropping below the the XRP price dropping below the 38.2, because if it's able to do that, now, this upwards trend gets invalidated, and it kind of goes back to what Willy Woo is saying. Maybe we do enter a consolidation phase. So that's something I want you guys to keep in mind. That's why we're going to be monitoring Bitcoin very, very closely. As of now, Bitcoin's looking good, but I'll keep you guys covered. Let me know down below what you guys think. If you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that red subscribe, and we'll see you later in Crypto ZX, and peace out.